Hey folks, Vinya here. Welcome to the second Vinya Corner. Yep, I'm actually holding myself to this. Would you believe it? Admittedly, I didn't say I was planning to release these on every other Monday, so I'll say it now. Last time was a bit of an outlier due to it being important to air immediately after 2 prints, but hopefully things should be more consistent from here on. These videos may also start being much shorter, since I don't exactly have a month's worth of content to show off all at once. However, they'll also start being more varied, with more of my general content showing up as well. For instance, here's my new icon of Vivi for the spooky season. Maybe my comment last time about not being like those creepypasta ghosts isn't entirely accurate. Anytime I make new public art, I'll be sure to show it off in these videos as well. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about what's happened recently. To start us off, I have to admit, after 2 prints I took a bit of a break from working on Rivals content. It's practically all I've been focusing on since the start of the year, so I needed a quick mental break from it. However, there has been some more development on Airship Fortress, and it should be ready for release relatively soon. Another quick note, I've actually gotten Visa on board to help with coding some of the more obtuse parts of Castle Guide. The Mario 128 gimmick will be much more robust thanks to his help. Furthermore, we've actually started on our next collab fighter already. I'm very excited to show him off, but I promise, the surprise will be worth it. Another surprise I can talk about briefly is that I'm starting up working on a little animation. I don't want to go too much in detail yet, but it's set to a short music piece by someone, and it's about one of my OCs. I'm also planning on making it almost like a game cutscene, to test out an engine I'm interested in working with in the near future once I start developing my own games. If it goes smoothly enough, I think I'd be interested in making some more, maybe even of characters that have yet to be established. I can say right now that the animation has been fully storyboarded, and I'm excited to work more on it soon. Speaking of, I've decided on my first game project. I'm going to make a short 2D horror game, with a wholly original world and story. I'm not ready to discuss much of it yet, but you can take a look at some concept art of the protagonist. At the moment, I'm primarily sketching out character designs and set concepts, and outlining the plot, so there isn't much I can really show, especially without spoiling anything. But in the future, if I do have things to show, I'll be sure to show them here. There's one last thing I'd like to start up. I'll be responding to some of the comments I get on my videos. It's something I realized might be fun to do to make these videos a bit more substantial. The comments this time might not be super well suited to this, since I'm just announcing that I'm doing this now, but if you'd like to know any insights about what I'm developing, feel free to ask away in the comment section below. So the first set of comments, these will be coming from the trailer for Castle Guide specifically that I released separately on YouTube. There isn't much there, since a lot of people saw the video through the 2 prints presentation, but I decided to look at a few things anyways. One comment I got, and I understand that this may not, this isn't exactly a usual type of comment. Juanesio Fernandesio questions that this may be something of an April Fool's joke. I do want to specify all of the characters and stages and whatnot that I work on are very much genuine, come from a genuine sense of passion from me. Nothing that I make is meant as a joke or as joke characters, even though they may be very silly and very unusual. Castle Guide in particular comes from specifically my love of tech demos and betas of games, and I really love that aspect of game history, especially from the early days of when it wasn't exactly super out there of how people made games or companies made games. And so there isn't like a super large amount of documentation about it, and I love a good obscure history, and so that was ultimately my decision for including Welcome to GameCube World as a part of what I'd like to make for Rivals. And then another joke-ish kind of question from Elm Angel to expand upon this. Welcome to GameCube World as a thing I wanted to represent in Rivals has actually been there from pretty much the very start. Like, as soon as I finished Shy Guy, I was starting to outline things I wanted to work on, which included things like LSD representation and Cruisin' representation, as well as the thought of doing several GameCube-themed stages. Among those, immediately was Peach's Castle from this tech demo, and at the time of me initially making those plans, I was like, this is too much to do at the moment. I'm gonna put this aside and do something else probably. And then until recently, I finally felt like I had enough skill to properly represent this, and so that's what I'm doing now. I hope that answers some questions about Castle Guide that I got. Now looking specifically on the first Vinya corner, Gamer Guy being very excited about Shy Guy Definitive. Yes, Shy Guy will still be having the Spear Guy taunt. That is not planning to change at all. I may change the Mario Party flags taunt. That reference will not be lost, for sure. That's still, the reference itself will still be in there, just might not be in the same form. I forgot to mention last time, but a big reason for me wanting to do these videos is specifically because of seeing PK King's videos and how he does all sorts of fun content, and I'm particularly inspired by that kind of vibe. I think that PK King doing videos like that is a really good idea, and I wanted to try my hand at it as well. So I definitely recommend that you check out PK King's videos. I'll leave a link to the description to his channel, and yeah, thank you for being an inspiration. And I guess for a final comment from Megalev Whale, yeah, actually, funny story. I don't know the exact date while I'm recording this of when I first designed my Sona. I'll put it up on screen. But I privately designed my Sona actually from last year, as early as. And it was actually kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing I was doing with friends, and because I actually hadn't represented myself in terms of a Sona until then. And I ended up liking the design so much that it just kind of stuck with me. It's like, oh, I've got to use this. I want this to be representative of what I am. So, it's a very funny coincidence that there were several characters from Deltarune Chapter 2 that remind me of my own character. I suppose that probably the one that you're thinking of was Viro-kun, who I do love, but there are a few others that come to mind that I particularly really like that also somewhat have the VV vibes. Well, I hope that was interesting, if nothing else. There's lots to look forward to, and I'm excited to work on more things to show off next time. Until then, I wish that you have fun. Goodbye!